One aspect of antagonism lies in societal norms and cultural conditioning. Society often imposes certain belief systems and values that may contradict or dismiss spiritual truths. This can lead to feelings of isolation and alienation for individuals who deviate from mainstream beliefs. Moreover, societal pressures may discourage open exploration of spiritual ideas, causing individuals to suppress their own innate curiosity and intuition. Religious institutions can also be a source of antagonism when it comes to spiritual knowledge. While religions offer guidance and support for many people on their spiritual paths, they can also become rigid structures that resist new insights or alternative perspectives. Steiner suggests that religious dogmas and hierarchical structures can hinder individual exploration and personal interpretation of spiritual truths. Scientific communities, known for their emphasis on empirical evidence and rationality, may pose another challenge to the pursuit of spiritual knowledge. Steiner argues that the reductionist approach often adopted by mainstream science tends to exclude metaphysical or non-materialistic phenomena from its purview. As a result, scientific denial or skepticism towards spiritual experiences or phenomena can discourage individuals from exploring these aspects of their own consciousness. Denial as a defense mechanism. In addition to external antagonisms, Steiner also discusses the role of denial within individuals themselves. Denial, in this context, refers to the unconscious resistance or rejection of spiritual truths due to various psychological factors. It is often a defense mechanism that protects individuals from confronting uncomfortable or conflicting beliefs. One form of denial is rooted in fear and insecurity. The pursuit of spiritual knowledge can challenge long-held beliefs, disrupt one's worldview, and introduce uncertainty. To avoid this discomfort, individuals may deny or dismiss ideas that contradict their existing belief systems. This denial allows them to maintain a sense of stability and security in their understanding of the world. Another aspect of denial lies in the attachment to materialistic perspectives. Steiner argues that modern society places great emphasis on the physical realm and material possessions, often neglecting the spiritual aspects of life. As a result, individuals may become deeply entrenched in materialistic thinking and deny the existence or relevance of spiritual truths. This denial can stem from a lack of exposure or understanding of spiritual concepts, leading to a limited worldview. Furthermore, denial can arise from intellectual arrogance or egoic identification with one's own beliefs. Individuals may reject spiritual truth simply because they do not fit within their intellectual framework or because they perceive such ideas as irrational or unscientific. This intellectual pride can create a barrier to genuine exploration and open-mindedness. The puppeteers of denial. Steiner refers to those who deny spiritual truths as mere puppets, suggesting that they are influenced by forces beyond their conscious awareness. These puppeteers can be seen as societal structures, cultural conditioning, historical biases, and even metaphysical entities that seek to obstruct the acquisition of spiritual knowledge. Societal structures play a significant role in shaping individual perspectives and beliefs.
Thanks, Ash.
Education systems, media outlets, and cultural norms all contribute to the formation of collective consciousness. Steiner suggests that these structures can be manipulated by hidden forces that perpetuate denial and antagonism towards spiritual truths. The influence of these puppeteers often goes unnoticed, as individuals unwittingly become instruments of their agenda. Cultural conditioning and historical biases also contribute to the perpetuation of denial. Beliefs and attitudes inherited from previous generations can be deeply ingrained in societal consciousness, making it challenging for individuals to break free from established norms and explore alternative perspectives. This cultural inertia can create a resistance to new ideas and hinder the pursuit of spiritual knowledge. Metaphysical entities, according to Steiner, can also play a role in influencing individuals' denial of spiritual truths. These entities are believed to operate on subtle energetic levels and may seek to maintain control over human consciousness. By manipulating individuals' thoughts, emotions, and perceptions, these entities can reinforce denial and obstruct the expansion of spiritual awareness. Overcoming antagonisms and denial. While antagonisms and denial pose significant challenges on the spiritual journey, Steiner emphasizes that they can be overcome through self-awareness, inner transformation, and the cultivation of discernment. Self-awareness is crucial in recognizing one's own biases, fears, and attachments that contribute to denial. By developing mindfulness and introspection, individuals can uncover unconscious patterns of thought and behavior that inhibit their pursuit of truth. This process allows for greater clarity and openness to new ideas. Inner transformation involves transcending limited belief systems and expanding one's consciousness. Steiner suggests that through practices such as meditation, contemplation, and self-reflection, individuals can access higher states of awareness beyond the confines of materialistic thinking. This inner transformation enables individuals to develop a more holistic understanding of reality and embrace spiritual truths. Discernment plays a vital role in navigating the antagonisms encountered on the spiritual path. It involves critically evaluating information, beliefs, and experiences to differentiate between genuine spiritual insights and deceptive influences. By cultivating discernment, individuals can protect themselves from being swayed by false teachings or manipulative forces. Moreover, fostering a sense of community and finding like-minded individuals can provide support and validation on the spiritual journey. Connecting with others who share similar interests and experiences can help counter feelings of isolation and provide a space for mutual growth and exploration. In the pursuit of spiritual knowledge, individuals often encounter antagonisms and denial from various sources. These obstacles can arise from societal norms, religious institutions, scientific skepticism, as well as internal factors such as fear, attachment to materialism, and intellectual arrogance. Steiner's insights shed light on the nature of these challenges and offer guidance on how to overcome them through self-awareness, inner transformation, discernment, and community support. By understanding and addressing these antagonisms and denial, individuals can continue their spiritual journey with greater resilience and openness to truth. Hegel's contradictions and Luciferian influence. Georg Wilhelm Friedrich Hegel, a German philosopher, developed the dialectical method, which emphasizes the resolution of contradictions through a synthesis of opposing ideas. His works have had a significant impact on various fields, including philosophy ideas to explore the relationship between contradictions and the influence of spiritual beings, such as Lucifer and Ahriman, on human souls. Hegel's dialectical method. Hegel's dialectical method is a philosophical approach that aims to understand the nature of reality by examining the relationship between opposing ideas and resolving contradictions through a process of negation and synthesis. This method is central to Hegelian philosophy and has had a significant influence.
What were you just listening to there? The spiritual path. That's for any of you that might be into some anthroposophy or anthroposophical studies that Rudiner is very much or was very much into. But too many big words for Saturday morning. Get the blood flowing through the body first. Well, when you wake up and you need to go to the toilet, all you men that wake up and need the toilet, there's lots of blood And you need to wake up. What am I talking about? Good morning. This is the Unified Parental Alienation International Network. What a mouthful. Just to speak about child abuse. And we still get shadow banned. And we still have the predators always available. But that's a good thing for us. We can keep an eye on them. Hi this morning, good morning. I hope you didn't lie in bed too long. I guess if you're in America you'll be maybe heading to bed soon. Maybe in Australia you'll be going to bed soon. Or sorry, getting up from bed. Australia the future, America the past. We are the present. Am I living in the present? So many 33s. Listen to something about 33rd degree Freemasonry being the highest level in Freemasonry. I don't believe they're still talking like it's some conspiracy. I just want my friends within these boys groups to pull their heads out their backsides and see what they're part of. And I do know a handful of now men that consider themselves Christian after having left the Freemasons. I know some of these guys believe they can be Christian while in the Freemasons, but they can't. I'm sure they can be the synagogue of Satan. I'm sure that's what is running the Freemasonic Brotherhood. Anyway, parental alienation. I'm sure you could see. I know what I want to say, just that I don't want to say it, because sometimes I feel I might cry if I say about the psychological manipulation my children have faced. I know some of you still believe in the poison going into your veins might save you. But I stopped my son and daughter from taking these things. So did she. And when she abducted them and took them to Poland, they were both faced with 26 of those poisonous jabs because they had never received any. And within the schooling system, good morning, within the schooling system in Poland, they force you into getting these. Now, they don't force children into getting them when parents stick up for their children. And I know 10 years ago you were a bad parent if you didn't allow your children to get poison put into their blood, because you were all still crazy at the time. Now, most have accepted that, and you don't even have your own thought patterns anymore. You've been reclassified, not as Homo sapiens, as Homo whatever else, Homo, and then the whatever. If you took Pfizer, you might be a Homo Pfizer, I don't know. You belong to someone else. Or this is just another attempt to separate us. Now, men and women will know themselves if they don't feel the same after having any poison put in their blood. And many friends and family and even strangers that I speak to about this, because at no point would I do a PCR test, would I take a vaccine, would I do anything to please another person. I would never ever do that, and it did through 2020, 2021. It got me into severe trouble. Boarding planes, walking through airports, doing things that we can all do today, but everyone about today was forcing you to do what they were forced to do, because they don't have any self-thought, they don't have anything to stick up for themselves. And that really gets to me. It really gets to me when you out there decide to do as you're told and not to question, because you're not questioning an authority. The authority is you. And we always get told to look outside of ourselves and question that, and that is what we are told is the authority. No, it's not. Authority is in here, and in here, and up here. That's the authority. And because we've spent so many years taking their poison and not using what we have, we've started to lose it. It's like if you don't get up and exercise, you'll not have a six-pack. If you don't get up and get out the house, your blood will start turning thick. Well, your blood will start turning thick if you take that vaccine. Alright, young man, how are you this morning? Good, mate? Aye. And I do still feel that could fly off the handle when men are ignorant to one another. When men can be ignorant to one another, it really gets to me. I don't care how hard you are, I don't care where you're from, but when there's ignorance between men, especially in my town, I'm going to have a go at you. And I don't care who you are or where you're from or the size of you. People in my town are going to speak to each other nicely. We're going to speak as if we care for one another. So if you want to move to my town, and that's some of the people out there that are slagging me off, putting me down, I'm okay with that. I'm big enough to take that. I was just jumping up and down in my living room as a 47-year-old man. There's purpose behind the madness. And I know the ones that come along can understand that. I apologise for the terrible connection and the noises. I won't stay on long today. I wanted to come on and let you listen to a book called The Spiritual Path. You might want to get a copy and read it. It's about Rudolf Steiner, his thoughts, beliefs, and just how something like Christianity, he let trickle through every part of his life. And I know you get anthroposophical schools in England, down south, but it does seem a bit much. But I seem a bit much to people, so we do deal with crazy on a daily basis. Let's see. Nice cocking and toad. I don't even know if that makes sense to you, but when I'm telling you you're cocking and toad, and I understand, I'm sure you do understand too. Oh my goodness, there's a woman running towards me and she doesn't know how to run. I mean, that's the thing, we've got... Oh no, it looks like a young girl, it just can't run. I'll move away. And this is only a 17, 18-year-old girl. And at least she's out moving and working out. And that's what every one of you should be doing as soon as you slip out your beds. If you're capable. If you're not capable because of your health, I recommend not eating any more fried foods. I take out all the confectionery, and morning, noon and night I would eat for 1 week cottage cheese and flaxseed oil mixed together. Try it for 1 week and you'll be able to roll out your bed and you'll be able to breathe through your nose. And you'll be able to feel your heart pounding because you'll be so much stronger and your blood will be less thick. Please do this. This isn't on my advice. Believe me, I'm an idiot. I'm just a foolish man. I'm not worthy to see my kids and half the people that come on this 340, thank you very much, subscribers, on this European channel would prefer to put the father down. But that's because I do these lives, and on lives you can get anyone come along, and it's normally predators YouTube want. They want the opposite. The algorithms are there to mix things up, not to work things out. Wow! 6 people have liked this. Done nothing so far. And I think 7 of you are watching. You're lucky people. Let's see. The juicy cottage cheese and flaxseed oil I did. Or linseed, flaxseed, depends where you are in the world, it's the same thing. As long as it's cold pressed and not boiled. Because if it's boiled, you'll be using it to coat your table or your wood. Don't use boiled linseed. It costs so much more and it's not good for you. You need cold pressed linseed. Cold pressed linseed oil. Hey man, how you doing brothers? How you doing out there? We're going to come round the corner and we're going to get to a place called St John's Church. Now, I was born a Catholic and I get put through communion and confirmation, and I chose a confirmation name. My favourite angry accent guy. Hey, thank you very much. How's life? It's very much like yesterday, apart from I woke up today and decided this morning I'm going to drink half a pint of water. I'm going to wash my mouth out with hydrogen peroxide 3%. I'm going to stick it in my ears so my ears fizz up and bubble, because I've been growing potatoes in my ears. And hydrogen peroxide 3%, it clears my ears, trickles down to my brain and starts to fizz inside my brain. And after half an hour of having the hydrogen peroxide 3% in my ears, I'm feeling very, very, very good and clear in the head. I down that half a pint of water and I try and do 5 sets of 50 press-ups. I failed. I done 3 and then I done some star jumps. What do we call them? I was going to do 10. I done 8. I just wanted to get outside and feel the fresh air this morning. And that's what I'm doing right now. And once you've done a wee workout, it's always good to get outside and feel the fresh air. So this is where I went and done my communion and all of that stuff. St John's Parish. Please shout out my cousin Dixon. Ooh, so funny. Still watching a bit too much Simpsons, I guess. Or Beavis and Butthead. I did like a bit of Beavis and Butthead with Ben double N in Australia, when I lived in Australia for many years. I lived in, well, my most common house was my 3-bedroom house in Bondi Junction, 38 Bondi Road, Bondi Junction. It was the last house of Bondi Junction before the next door postcode was 2022 and it went to 2026, and that was Bondi Beach. And I loved my time in Bondi, it was madness. That's Serial's home. Yeah, you would know. Is it? It is Martin. Now, let's play a game at, what's it going to be called next week? Hasta la pasta, baby. Big shout out to Lagoon and Serial Hill Killer. Thank you very much for coming along and always sticking your messages of confusion and hope of sobriety, because that's what I know, you're living in hopes of sobriety. Getting off your methadone, getting off that cheap dirty gear that the police always sell you, so you can maybe stop beating your wives in the police service. I know every day good family men are praying for our police services to stop their abuse of society, their abuse of their own children, and the abuse of the mothers of their children. And being a man that's been pursued as a woman beater and a rapist based on false allegations, I know how even just the allegation can ruin your life. So I've not, and that's the thing, I've only ever met one woman in my life, but I did have kids with her, but I've only met one woman that would use false allegations like that. I have obviously known other women that are liars or dishonest or willing to mislead. Anyway, but having ran a company in Australia, I ran a marketing company, and that is just misinformation as well. Like anything like this is just misinformation and fraud. We're allowed to missell to you these days. We're allowed to tell you that the food you've got is actual food and it's not packaged chemistry sets. Sorry, what? Can I still smoke my ganja I smoked before any exercise this morning? Can I still smoke my ganja I smoked before any exercise? You can do as you like, my friend. Well, if you're not going to shout him out, could you shout out his sister-in-law? Oh, you're so funny. What? Is it unmanly of me to smoke devil's lettuce? It feels sort of childish. This depends on how often you smoke, whereabouts you are in the world, what time of day it is, and what you've got to do next. But looking at what you've been writing previously, it doesn't look like you've ever taken a break in a number of years. But a lot of people do say they're smoking ganja and they're smoking like 25% skunk weed every day. Well, luckily we don't have certain, I mean, and the thing is, you're paying through it, the young team are paying through the nose for this stuff coming from the States. And we know the police and security services know, they know every single person that's selling this stuff, but they allow all the wee boys to do it because they can bully them, they can steal their gear off them, they can steal their money off them, and that's what police do. Police are just the class below the predator class. The police are the class below predator class. The ones happy to beat up their missus, steal the drugs from the police office, take cocaine and sell it, and get away with it. That's what these security services are. No one likes them anymore. I mean, I've had them come to my house after I was assaulted. They said they would arrest the parasite that assaulted us and done nothing. Because his family's part of the Eastern Star and Catholic cult. So nothing happens. So if you're assaulted and you're not one of them, they'll pretty much just laugh at you. And you get used to being laughed at and belittled, and you get used to these things in town, and you just don't take the people as men or women any longer. You know what they are. Check out Reno Cops. I don't know what that is, dude. Where this at? This is Barhead. This is East Renfrewshire. That is McDonald's. There's actually people waking up in the morning to go and get space food, space junk. But the thing is, McDonald's does give free Wi-Fi. So as soon as a place that sells fake food gives it free Wi-Fi, it'll drag in the punters on here, because I don't have Wi-Fi in my house, or a TV connection, or Sky, or NTL, or Virgin, or whatever you've got these days, showing you pictures on a wee screen in the house. And if you decide you want to smoke the devil's lettuce or be brain damaged prior to your workout, that's up to you. You can maybe take advice from some of the old songs. You can be a smoker, and if you can't sleep, a midnight toker. Ha ha ha. Where is this? Oh, this is still Barhead. We're going towards Glasgow in the A736. This will take us through Pollock, into Nits Hill, Then closer into Glasgow, what's beyond here is the likes of B&Q and more of the same, more Burger King, more Lidl, more McDonald's, more B&M. Indigo Sun. I mean, Indigo Sun. What is going on, man? Indigo Sun. I went into the Salvation Army last week and tried to get myself, what they called, a selfie stick, a gimbal, some of these things. They don't have them. They don't have them in there anymore. Dive in the Clyde. I did that before. In fact, I think I was thrown in the Clyde. And Manny did say that he's so lucky that he's going to come up with a salmon in his mouth. And I did! I was thrown into the Clyde trying to drown me and I come up with a salmon in my mouth. And the little parasites and predators in our local services being underpaid, and that's why we always have the lowest class of police. They can't even speak properly to you these days, and they're never honest. So it's nice to have conversations with you. Go count all the Kurdish barbers. You mean barbers? Should I go and count all my Turkish barbers? Maybe that's where the money's being laundered in all of these. Because I know in my town there's more Turkish barbers than there are anything else. Maybe there's more Turkish barbers than there are eateries. I love seeing there's like 60, 70-year-old women driving that tractor. I see. And the reason I'm showing you this is where the predators, see the little black and white predators that pretend they're there to help you, they'll sit in these corners and revenue collect. So decent men and women who feel they need to pay these fines. Now I don't pay these fines. If I get any fine from any of these fancy dress wearing lowlives that entrap you, what I'll do, I'll send it back to the Attorney General and I'll let him know I don't pay for these things. The Attorney General will then send it back to his boss and he'll be forced to pay that fine. Always return any fine because you have to sign for it. And if you don't sign for it, the police will sign for it. And you remember and just return that to the Attorney General and tell him he's the one in law that's due to pay for it. He's due to pay for the fine, not you. And he'll be held accountable for the ticket he writes and you will not be. The same as any other debt. It's the same as any other debt. I see no trash. Unlike my town in Arkansas. I'm sorry your town in Arkansas has got much trash. That's my next door neighbour who owns this convenience store in the Esso garage. Anyone want to buy a ATS servicing, car servicing place? If you do, you can offer me a position. You're talking absolute bollocks, mate. Thanks very much. What do you want me to talk about on my channel? What would you like me to talk about as you've come along to my channel? What would you like to talk about? Because this is the absolute bollocks channel. So why would I not speak absolute bollocks? Thank you very much. Love is always given, and it sprinkles up the side of the screen. Because if any one of you lovely men and women, lovely mothers and fathers, lovely sons and daughters out there, if you decide that you want to be the one speaking absolute bollocks, or any topic you decide, if you decide you want to speak any topic, you can just have a YouTube channel, go online, and for 10 years you can get barred, you can have your channel shut down, you can find out what you can and can't say, you can lose hours and hours of times where you've recorded with your own children, you can lose court appearances, you can be thrown in foreign prison cells, for making these videos, but the thing is you learn to take accountability, something that most of you do not have right now, is accountability. You wouldn't allow your children to feel safe, and that's why a man like myself is here. I'm going to teach you manners. I'm going to teach my American, my Australian, my Kiwi, African Indonesian, my Irish, my French, all European brethren. I'm going to teach you manners. Because I think it's something that may be slightly awry from my channel, where I'm allowed to bore you, but if you're bored, you're allowed to leave. That's how these work. Now, this is what you should be doing. Even if you can't, you should be doing this. Get yourself out, run through the street. Nice work, my man. Anyone knows what the dude is saying? To be honest, I've got no idea. I think I'm using my Scottish accent just to waffle a bit, so you don't have to understand. And many people might come on thinking, this guy's really intelligent. And some might defend that it is really smart, and others will say, no, he's really thick, he's got no idea what he's saying. And then in the comments, you'll start a huge section. Is this guy really, really smart? Or is this guy just dumbass thick? Man, you can start that. It's for you in the comments. And that's the whole idea of this. I get to speak, and you get to judge. And maybe this is the only time in your life where you're going to have to, or get the opportunity to judge a good man. Because there's some good men here, but most of them are dead. Oh, turn your lights off, brother. Because this is a beautiful place with lots of beautiful people lying down. And they're waiting for something, because everybody in here's dead, you see. There's some people that died 200-300 years ago. There's people that died that you know in their families. There's people that died in the last week or so. You know, there's lots of dead people, but the thing that they have in common is they're all dead. They're all dead right now. And you can make my channel very similar to the people in here by not putting comments up. And see, if you're cruel, you just don't put anything up, and my channel will become dead. Like, no one will be here. Yeah, it makes sense. I love to make sense to people because I have a spontaneous, habitual approach to life. And I want to show you that if you adopt a spontaneous, habitual approach, that means that you won't flounder, or you won't worry about simple situations where you know what you should be doing. Because the reason there's so much noise in your head is because you do waffle. And you do need to take time for yourself to listen to a Scottish man with a Glaswegian accent that you find quite difficult. And the reason you're hitting the like button, and the reason you're subscribing to this, is because this is the exact thing that you need in your life. This is what's been missing from your life. And if you think it's waffle and garble and mischievous, foolish nonsense, that's up to you. If you think some of the information here could be worthwhile and implementing into your life, then that's also totally up to you. Because more than likely I'm just talking nonsense as some Scottish fella that wants people to see this man's just very lonely. He's very hurt inside indeed. He misses his children. And no matter how little I think of this man, even a man like that deserves to know his children. Even a man like that that's been called a rapist and a woman beater and an unworthy father. Every one of you unworthy mothers, unworthy fathers, children that don't get to see you. I understand you face pain every day. I understand that you might even break down every day. Like, saying these words right now, I feel like crying, because I know there's so many of you that are truly struggling this weekend, and you do want to have a relationship with your children, but because of the years of abuse they've faced, because of a mother and grandmother willing to assault who they are, to tear down psychologically the children that they are and half of the human that they are, to tear them down and tell them, no, you must hate half of you, to the extent that my son doesn't get to speak to me. See, he can't speak English. I can't explain what it's like of a son that can't speak to you. But what I did find out was I need to learn Polish a whole lot quicker. And I found out that my son and I did understand one another. Without a common language, you understood one another. If there's anyone else out there that can understand what I'm saying, or express what I'm trying to say in words, because I'm quite a foolish man. I'm not very smart. I really just want your children to have time with you if you're a parent. If you're a father, I want you to be able to stand up and say, you know, I feel proud of my children. I'm glad that I have all these memories. And the worst thing would have been to be taken out of their life and called a rapist, an abuser, useless old man. There's many, many fathers and mothers out there that simply don't appreciate the time that they have with their children. I'm going to go and speak to my dad just now. My dad died over 10 years ago. As a young man, my dad was taken. I know there's many friends out there that have lost their fathers in many worse ways. Fathers that have been so frightened of life that they've taken their own. And they're my best friends. And your best friends will say the silliest things to you because they're lost in their mind. Hang on, I'll say what wants me to say this out. God bless you, my friend. I have recently started seeing my father again since 20 years ago. It's so sad that we have known each other all this time. Do not worry, we find out everything eventually. My dad died when I was 11. My friend's dad took his life at a similar age just before that. I'm so sorry, he got murdered. The guards from Shropshire. I'm so sorry, Mum. To Eva and Matthew, my son and daughter, I'm sorry. I have failed. Many of these people on here saying hurtful things to me are pretty much on the money. I've been a hopeless, useless failure so much in my life, and maybe I don't deserve to have the time with my children. I feel like a failure most of the time. I don't feel worthy as a man. I'm sorry you lost your father. I'm glad you managed to find out who he was. Liking and subscribing here is something that's always short term, my friends. If you do like, you do subscribe. This has been the longest channel I've had. It's been going now for nearly 16 months. It started in Romania when I was going a European-wide travel, and every one of those countries I had the police come to attack me because I would go to the Polish and British embassies regarding fathers' rights. Every police officer in every country helped me. They helped me. But every police officer in every country, well, they would send out police officers with balaclavas on to hit me and to take my phone off me. And many of the police would help me. I know as fathers you're going to go out and you're going to face severe persecution. I know you're going to face... I've come back down and I've stopped being over emotional. I know you're going to face persecution. I know the police are going to say they're there to help you. I know that you're going to get battered in other countries. I know you're going to be thrown in prison. I know in your own hometown you're going to be rejected because it's mainly Catholic and Protestants and Freemasons here, and you've just called them all stupid names, you know. and you still believe it. You still believe they're fools. You've been made to feel unworthy, but you've always been worthy. You have always been worthy. Man, you really kind of make me cry today. I've got to... Lots of love, all the very best. Thanks very much. If you want to hit the like button, that would help the algorithms. It's not going to help anyone in here. There's 30 people on there. If everyone hits like and subscribe just now, I mean, you can undo it later on, but once you've watched some of the 900 videos, you might want to show someone next to you, like a local mother, a local father, and I don't mean it's sex, show them some love. If you're a man, show a man that you really give a toss about him, you care about him. If you see a man in the street with nothing, go and help him. If you see a woman lying in the street with nothing, go and help her. Go and help them today. Lord, help us today. Right. I wish I had a wee song. I normally like to end this and stir crazy. I can't sing myself, but I'm going to try. Well, if I'm crazy, what a wonderful way to be. Imagine all the possibilities if everybody lived like me. Ooh, 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 crazy, I'm crazy. Everybody thinks I'm crazy, but I got a feeling deep inside they all like to be just like me. I'm crazy, I'm crazy. Crazy, 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 crazy once in a while. Why don't you set yourself free? It's only reality. Sorry about the singing.